Every day, we benefit from rocks. Rocks are useful to us in lots of ways. Many people live or work in buildings made from rocks. We drive on roads which are built with rocks. Floors and countertops in houses are made of rocks. And believe it or not, ground-up rocks are even used in the production of toothpaste and soap. So, what exactly are rocks? How are they formed? And what are some of the major kinds of rocks? During the next few minutes, we're going to explore these questions and others as we investigate some of the fascinating characteristics of rocks. You've probably tried skipping rocks in a lake, or maybe you've admired a view dominated by rocks. Perhaps you've even been rock climbing. But have you ever thought about what rocks actually are? A rock is a solid, naturally occurring mixture of minerals. Your next question probably is, what is a mineral? Simply put, minerals are solids with a definite chemical composition and crystal structure. There are many different kinds of minerals, such as copper, gold, galena, and quartz, to name just a few. So you can think of rocks as a mixture of minerals combined to form a solid substance. For example, this rock, called granite, is made up of three main minerals: feldspar, quartz, and black mica, or biotite. Together, these minerals make up the rock granite. As we mentioned, rocks provide us with many benefits, which make our lives easier. Rocks also help us to better understand the Earth and its history. Geology is the study of Earth, its materials, such as rocks, and its history. And geologists are scientists who study Earth's processes and Earth's past. Studying rocks is an important aspect of the job of many geologists. Placing rocks into different groups, referred to as classifying rocks, is helpful to geologists. There are hundreds of different kinds of rocks. Therefore, by placing rocks into groups, it makes the study of rocks easier and more manageable. One way geologists classify rocks is based primarily on how they're formed. Using this system of classification, there are three main types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. This rock, which feels cold to touch, could once have been unbelievably hot. You compare. Describe the difference between this rock and the material from which it was made. That's right, this rock is cold and solid, but molten rock is a hot liquid. Molten rock, called lava, is located above ground, and magma is molten rock located inside Earth. Molten rock is rock in a liquid or liquid-like form and can be as hot as 1200 degrees Celsius. When molten rock cools and solidifies, rocks called igneous rocks are formed. Igneous rocks are often found in and around volcanoes. This lava is flowing out of a volcano in Hawaii. When lava hardens, it forms a type of igneous rock called basalt. Basalt is the most abundant rock found in the crust of the Earth. Rocks that form on the surface tend to have a fine-grained texture. Texture refers to the look and feel of a rock's surface. Rocks such as pegmatite, formed inside Earth, tend to have a coarse-grained texture. You compare. Which rock was formed inside Earth and which rock was formed on the surface? That's right, this rock called granite was formed inside Earth, whereas this rock cooled quickly on the surface. This is just one characteristic that geologists consider when classifying igneous rocks. If you've ever walked on a cement sidewalk or sprinkled salt on your food, you've benefited from sedimentary rocks. You observe. Describe what you see in this rock. You can see many small particles, referred to as sediments. Most sedimentary rocks are made up of sediments. The Grand Canyon is made up of layers and layers of sedimentary rock, reaching a depth of 1,500 meters, or nearly a mile. Some of the most noticeable features of sedimentary rocks are layers, referred to as strata. Sedimentary rocks form when sediments, such as sand, silt, pebbles, and even once living things, are deposited by water, wind, or ice. Once they're deposited, sediments are then pressed together in a process called compaction. Sediments are glued together with cement-like substances which hold the particles together. These processes may take hundreds of thousands or even millions of years to form a sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rocks are often classified by the size of the particles that they contain. Some sedimentary rocks, such as these in Mono Lake, California, were formed when chemicals separated in mineral-rich water. The salt deposits, seen here in Death Valley, were formed as salt-rich water evaporated, leaving behind salt crystals. Some sedimentary rocks, such as coal and limestone, are made from the ancient remains of once living plants and animals. Sedimentary rocks sometimes contain fossils. Fossils are the remains or traces of ancient once living things. These sedimentary rocks contain the actual bones of dinosaurs. And this piece of fossilized limestone in New York State contains the imprints of ancient marine-dwelling organisms which lived in seas that once covered the surface of the land. Fossils are important because they give us clues about ancient plants and animals which lived long ago. The third type of rocks we'll discuss are metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks have been changed from another type of rock as a result of heat or pressure. This white rock, for example, is made up of millions of animals that lived in oceans millions of years ago. When these animals died, they fell to the ocean floor, forming deep layers, which eventually formed rock called limestone. Through heat and pressure, the limestone was transformed into a new, harder, and different rock, marble. It's hard to imagine the forces of pressure deep inside the earth, but try stacking several books on top of your hand. You can feel a lot of pressure. Now imagine the pressure placed on the rocks deep inside this mountain by the rocks above them. This type of pressure has the ability to change existing rocks into other types of rocks. In some cases, pressure is so great it generates intense heat that actually changes the texture or chemical makeup of underlying rocks. Metamorphic rocks are classified by the arrangement of the grains they contain. Slate, seen here on this roof, is a metamorphic rock with grains arranged in parallel layers. Therefore, slate easily splits into flat pieces. Quartzite is a metamorphic rock which possesses grains that are arranged randomly. There are a variety of metamorphic rocks with a wide range of characteristics. During the past few minutes, we've investigated many of the fascinating characteristics and uses of rocks. We began by learning that rocks are naturally occurring substances made up of a mixture of minerals. The vast number of rocks can be classified into three main groups. Igneous rocks are formed when molten rock cools and solidifies. Sedimentary rocks are created when sediments are deposited, compacted, and cemented together. And metamorphic rocks are formed when other types of rocks are changed due to pressure and heat. So, the next time you walk on a rock or throw a stone, think about how that rock was formed. You just might think about rocks a little differently. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Good luck, and let's get started. Number 1. Rocks are made up of a mixture of Number 2. Rock in liquid form at Earth's surface is called Number 3. When lava cools and hardens, it forms rock. Number 4. Limestone and coal are examples of rock. And number 5. Rocks are created by heat and pressure from other rocks.